Right, good evening on a wet Wednesday, the 10th of March. I noticed from my calendar that this Friday would be the what is known as the Past President's Supper, when the presidents all gather together at Chapter 1 to have a dinner together and also to reveal the incoming president. Of course, that's not happening this year due to COVID. But anyway, that sort of also, I guess, is a bit of a milestone because it means that, been through this now nearly about a year. So quite shocking. Good evening, everyone joining the feed. Nick Swatton, I can see you there, fresh from your Masters Mile. Very, very good time. Pete Rogers as well, good evening to you. Let's start with that news, actually, because it was a great effort. And again, another large team across a few age group categories assembled by Ian Furler. So thanks for his work. Good evening, Julian Golding. How are you? Nice to see that you've got a club indoor record now as well. That announced in the week as well because they've done the work on those. Good evening, Margaret Baldwin. How are you? Hope John is fine. Anyway, sorry, going back to the Masters Championship. The big news for the British Masters Athletic Federation Virtual Mile competition is that our ladies, Carol Coulon-Pennington, Jenny Butler and Ashley Pearson, came in first in the women's 45 to 54 category. So I'm talking about category. So absolutely tremendous performance from them. There was a bit of drama. They added 30 seconds to Carol's time arbitrarily, but still the performance was so good that they won the age group. So really proves that our women are and can be the absolute best. So that really bodes well for next season. And I think it's sort of testament to those runs that they've all been putting in the season. And Ashley has been doing great work when we've been allowed to. Offering training sessions down at Norman Park as well. So all very, very good. The men did very, very well as well. There was a very large complement of men tackling the challenge as well. Roger Villadell coming home first in the M40 category. 16th overall in the competition, but first for Blackheath with a time of 4:51. Martin Richardson then following in with a time of 5:01. Then Club 10 mile champion Luca Ercolani coming in with 5 minutes 12. Richard Daniels, my cousin, I think people do know that, who celebrated his 50th birthday in the last week. He was the third finisher for our M45 to 54 team. With an excellent time of 5:24. Steve Evenden, running the wrong way round Norman Park, ran a 5:46. So those were some of the great performances. I just want to talk as well about the M65 to 74 runners. Bob Minting, Clem Leon and Jim Phelan running 7 minutes, 7:10 and 7:15 respectively. Very, very good performance. As far as the teams went on, our M35 to 44 team took the 20th place. M45 to 54 came 6th. M55 to 64 came 16th. And we got a 9th place in our M65 to M74 team. So really great performance from all of them. Brilliant to see us doing so well. And of course the women, what a celebration. Absolutely terrific from them. Now, just over to the European Championships, which I'm sure you all enjoyed that over the weekend on the TV. I love that. I mean, just every time I seem to flick on and I could lose myself for about an hour in those events. And they were tremendous. And it is great actually focusing on indoor because that is such a different championship tactically. And seeing some of those longer races was great as well because we don't normally see those in some of our, the championships that we would have at this time of year, like the Kent Indoors, etc. So I really enjoyed that. Mark Purser, great performance. champion marksman. Absolutely brilliant to see him there, popping up from time to time. I'm sure he enjoyed that, but I certainly enjoyed seeing him, and I'm so pleased for him, reaching that pinnacle in his career, and hopefully pushes on from there as well. So really great to have someone, from Blackheath and Bromley so high up within the organisation of the officials in the sport. Absolutely terrific. And Phil Sessman, of course, our second claim athlete, running very, very well in the 3,000 metre, but unfortunately not making the finals there. Away from the track, Adrian had everyone out looking for street names with women's names in the title for this week. We are, of course, juxtaposed right between International Women's Day and Mother's Day on Sunday. This is your president giving you the heads up that if you haven't clocked that it's Mother's Day on Sunday, come on, get your act together, go and get something nice for your mum. Our mums do so much for us. They are there. They do so much for our athletes. They are the ones that are there, celebrating, but also picking up the pieces, I think, when things don't go right. I know that they often bear the brunt of frustrations, but they are the people that making sure that you are fed, that you're fueled. They put together those packed lunches that you take to your matches. They make sure all your kit's there, it's all washed, it's all wonderful. They do so much for us. So just to, reminder to everyone, thank you mums within the club. You are terrific for supporting us. All of us. So that's really great. Anyway, this week, Adrian says it's a man's world, so he wants you doing the opposite now, going out and finding place names with men in the title if you can. So see how everyone gets on with those. Other news that I have to report, it's Vice President Bill Clapham. He will be 90 on Saturday. And his wife will also be 90, but on Friday. So a massive joint celebration for them. All best wishes from the club for them. That's really, really great news. Hope they're doing well and hope they'll enjoy celebrating there. We were contacted today by one of our older members who's 90 as well, Peter Vetterlane. Who has actually said because he's 90 and no longer competing, he would like to resign from the club. But he gave a very nice donation. I am actually going to write to Peter because Rob Brown, membership secretary, pointed out that if Peter just hung on for another year, he would actually have been with the club 50 years. And that is something that we do celebrate for people. So I will just mention that to him and just see whether he does want to just stay with us for just a little bit longer to reach that great milestone. But we'll see how that goes. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that John Turner has transferred £400 to the club for his work on his book. So John, just a really big thank you from everyone, but especially from me, for all that work and that great donation, which has really helped on the club's fundraising efforts. Absolutely terrific. I hope you will have all seen that Dina Asher-Smith has written a very, very good article, a very honest and frank article, disarming really in the way that Dina can convey these things so naturally, but how women are elevated in sport. I think it's also worth pointing out that a lot of the stuff that's covered in that article, particularly with regard to women's performance, it was great that in the last year, Jane Bradshaw over in France and Anita Everden, they've tackled those issues and raised them with our young athletes as well, supporting them. So thank you to them, and just a reminder that all that good work, it really pays off, and it is so important that we keep doing that and keep looking after the athletes because it will arm them well, all the way up the sport. But it's a great article of Dina's that you should read. I think Paul Byfield has shared it on the Facebook group. And I'm just trying to remember if there's anything else that I had on my list of things to say, but I think that's about it. Anyway, lovely to see everybody. Hopefully the weather will be a bit better by the time we catch up next week. I know there an announcement about English schools cross country, a virtual competition. So I hope our young athletes are prepared and do well for that. I'm excited to see that details are coming out about the YDL League. This year, just for this year, we're going to go local. So it'll be kind of nice for the upper age group because we're going to be in a Kent division. So all the people that you used to compete against in the Kent Young Athletes League, you're going to find out how they've been getting on for the last couple of years without us, because we're now up against Medway and Maidstone, we're up against Tunbridge, we're up against Dartford, we're up against Ashford. So that's going to be nice. And I think it'll be nice on the travelling as well, actually, and make a nice break for that competition. There is no national finals for the upper or lower age group this year, but that's because they're giving over that weekend to get another match in. So I think the league has done very, very well under very, very difficult circumstances getting that programme together. And it's going to be a very busy season. You can see that already with the way that some of these matches are coming through thick and fast. And I just want to say thank you to our track secretary, John Hubbard, who is gathering all of this information and just communicating to everyone so well, so they all know what's happening and what's up and coming. Again, if you are somebody that has any inkling or interest in officiating, maybe you'd like to, I can see Margaret Baldwin on the feed here, great timekeeper. If you'd be interested in timekeeping or some of the officiating, then certainly should get in touch with Mark Purser and John Hubbard, because I think we're going to have a very, very busy season. Anyway, good night to everyone. Have a great week, and hope to see everybody soon.